Okay, I'm definitely on my own. I know that. It is the Last Chance Saloon, to be honest, because I've changed over cameras and I'm not quite sure if you can find me, but I will just hold on and maybe someone will find me. I'll just hold on and see if anybody does. I can hear you and see you. Oh, goodness me. What is it like? Different camera. It may work. It looks a little bit more promising. Oh, bless you all. You are good. Thank you. Thanks for even bothering. I do appreciate it. And yeah, let's give it a go. Can we all see at the moment? Yeah. Okay. So if this one doesn't work, I will do it completely different. Okay. So as I say, thank you for persevering and trying to find me with this, because it's lovely. It is lovely. So there are 2 items in the set. You have got the 6x8 stencil set, and that's this, and it goes with the embossing folders. Now they're 3D embossing folders. Yeah, that's it. Keep everything crossed. They're 3D embossing folders, which is nothing new on the market, to be honest with you, but they're really lovely and I'm enjoying them. And as I said, sneak peek, because they actually go really, really well with one of my up and coming frames. So there you go. So what we've got is a 5x7 embossing folder, and I'm going to use this one. It's called Poinsettia Bliss. And then it comes with companion colouring stencils, is what they're called. And there's 2 in each pack. They can be used either way round, so you can use one or the other, first or second, it really doesn't matter. And they will give you the colouring that goes on top of your embossing folder. And I think that the 4 sets that they've got are really lovely and work very well. We used shimmering snowflakes at the weekend, which was really good. But I'm going to use this one, which is the Poinsettia Bliss. So first of all, we need to emboss our piece of card, and I've cut out a piece which is 5x7. So I'm going to pop that into my embossing folder, just a little bit over the edge there. And I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. Now, I'm actually not going to run it through my Gemini. I'm going to run it through my Spellbinders Platinum 6. And the way that I've had to put this camera in, there ain't no room for you to see it. I'll see if I can, do I dare move it out very slightly, not very much. The reason why I use this is I prefer this for my embossing folders, to be honest with you. So, and because it's a small one, 5x7, I can fit that in there quite nicely. It comes with, I've bought some new plates to go with it because I'm liking the new system. So the Spellbinders come with a base plate, and that's handy because it tells you, without you having to look for a piece of paper, all how you should build your sandwich up. So for a 3D embossing folder, it's simply the platform, the enfolder with your card in, and then the adapter plate, as they call it, D. I can cope with that. It won't cut it. It is huge pressure on it. Okay. The camera's going to wobble at this stage. So I'm going to pop that through. Clonk. Let's get that out of the way because you don't need to see that. And bring in my embossing folder here. And hopefully you can see that it's got beautiful deep embossing 3D, which is really, really lovely. I'm glad you're still finding me. Thank you. So I'm going to then use the stencils, and I'm going to then simply do a little bit of colouring, which I think makes life really, really easy. I'm going to start off with the green one, because there's just 2 colours for this one, green and red. And we need to, this is always the fun bit because I always get it wrong. I need to match these bits and pieces up like so. Now the good thing about it is that the piece of card itself is 5 by 7, but the stencils are 6 by 8, which means that, as you can see from here, it goes over the edge nicely. And so that even if you put your colours over and you get a bit ambitious with it all, it isn't going to matter if it goes over the edge of your card. You know, sometimes when you're doing a stencil, the stencil's too small, say it was like that, and you were colouring away, sometimes you get a little tiny bit over the edge and it's not good. So I'm personally not going to tape anything down, but that's not to say that you would do it like that. So I'm just popping that into position, and you can see then that all of your embossed pieces poke back through the holes, so to speak, in this. Just wondering if I turn that light off. Oh, if I can. You might get, maybe not, a slightly better. So I'm going to take some green, and I'm going to take 2 colours of green, and they're going to both be distress inks. I've got bundled sage and I've got forest moss, both distress inks. I prefer the distress inks for this because it will come out as a bolder colour. Okay, that's why. So I'm going to start off with this one first, which is bundled sage. And I shall pick that up with my blending brush. And I'm going to start down here where it's sort of like a solid piece and come up from the bottom in the same direction for all of these colours. So I'm working from the middle where my flower will be outwards, which means that the very base of my greenery will be slightly darker, and I'll build it all up like that. So I'm building it up with a light colour first. So as I said, this one is bundled sage, one of my absolute go-tos for green ink. I have to say, I don't know that it's a particularly good picture. So, because I've not got the camera that we wanted, didn't want to work. So not to worry, I will pick it up and show you, and then you will not miss out. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going around all of my pieces so that they've all got a bit of green on, right to the very edge. I think that's probably about it. Let me just pick that up so that you can see that we've got that greenery going right to the edge with that. So then I'm going to pop that back down again. Now you could go over with, if you haven't got very many colours, you could go over a second time. I have, with your same colour, I have tried different inks, and I have found that the distress inks seem to work the best. But again, if you don't have them, mix and matches, trialing and error is always a good idea. So now I'm going to do it again, starting from down here, and I'm going to pick up the forest moss, which is considerably darker, but I'm still doing it in the same way, that I'm building it up from the centre so that I'm getting that deeper colour at the bottom of my greenery, and then it fades away a bit more as you get towards the edge. Down here as well. I do love these 3D embossing folders. What a clever idea this was for people to do. I like that. I'm going to make sure I've gone on all of it. And I think that's going to give quite a nice look. So put the lid back on that, and we don't need the greens anymore. And we remove our stencil. You can see that we've got all that lovely green going on there. Then I'm going to bring in my one for the red, which should be, she says, a little bit easier to work out where it should go. So we have got, there we go, that's it. So we've got a couple of little berries here, 3 little berries there and 3 there, which helps you to determine where you're going to put your stencil. I'm going to start off with barn door, which is obviously red, although barn door isn't particularly red, is it? But I'm going to start off with the barn door. I'm going to start off in the middle, and I'm going to give it big sweeps round. I'm making sure that I go to the very edge. Also go onto my 3 little berries that are there. But I'm doing the same thing, coming in to start off with on those 3 little, not 3, there's 6 little sort of berry bits there. You could obviously do those in a slightly different colour if you wanted to. I think that's fine for me. So I've got that strong colour going on in the middle. And then, keeping that in place, I'm going to put the barn door away, but I'm going to bring in aged mahogany. Now, aged mahogany is something that I go to so many times because it's such a lovely colour, but it's more like a really deep, well, mahogany, a reddy colour. Okay, so I'm just going to start off in the middle again. Hopefully you can see already that that is a darker piece. I'm going to make sure that I go all over it. Okay, but I'm going to also make sure that my darker bit is in the centre, like I said. So I think poinsettias are probably more of a darker red than the bright red that I had it. So I'm quite liking to do this sort of a colour here. Okay, and then when we take that off, you can hopefully see, let's pop these away, that you've got a beautiful poinsettia, which is really lovely, and the berries and bits and pieces. So all in all, a really lovely stencil, as all of them are on that set. So then what? We've got our lovely poinsettia, we've got our lovely stencil and lots of movement and lots of texture on it, but then what? Well, that's where I think my frames come in. So I have cheated ever so slightly because I've actually already cut out the frame because I didn't want to really show you because these frames aren't available at the moment. They are available to the people that are doing workshops for September with me. So some people that were at the all-day one had the chance to grab one whilst they could. And then I've got another workshop in a couple of weeks' time, and they too will be not only having the frames or the die cuts from the frames, but they will get the chance to be the first people to buy it. And then it will go on to everybody's option to buy it. So as always, it's a double frame. So I this time have cut it out with artichoke green because I felt that that went in nicely with my poinsettias. And then a white frame on the top because there's a lot of white in the card. So I didn't want to introduce yet another colour. So I'm going to pop those two together first. So this frame is called a C5 frame. Okay, so when it comes out, it is a C5 frame. So just simply pop that on there. So they can be used individually, but the whole point of the frames are that they've been made up so that you can use them as a double frame. And I've been using 2 lots of frames together, which sounds a little bit double Dutch, but by golly, what a lovely result. I will show you that at a later stage as well. So I've simply stuck those down and I'm going to pop a bit of foam onto the back. And just a 2mm piece of foam all the way round. So that just raises it up very slightly. Like so. It's good to see that many of you found me. It's a bit like playing hide and seek, wasn't it? I'm not sure if there's a right and a wrong way, but we'll go with that as being the right way. And I'm going to stick that down directly to my C5 card blank. Bearing in mind that it is very deeply embossed, so you might need to put a little bit more glue on than you normally would do. I'm going to centre that in as much as I possibly can. But before I actually go and push it down hard, I just want to pop my frame over the top just to make sure that I've got it in the right place, but it does look as if I have. So I will then just press that down into place. And before I put it all together, I did do one of these earlier. And so I just wanted to make this into something slightly different before I place it all together. So here's one that I did earlier in good old Blue Peter fashion. But I'm actually going to chop it up, and I'm going to go along the lines, quite simply, of this poinsettia, because I want to do a little bit of raising this poinsettia up. Now, obviously, that then makes it into a card that is perhaps not so post-friendly, but because I want to do it, and I will probably be giving all of my cards or popping them in parcels and things like that, then it's not quite so bad. But of course, you could just do what I've done now. Just take a bit more green off there. That is simply flattish. You wouldn't even need to put on the frame, to be honest. You wouldn't need to put the foam on the frame if you didn't want to. So, you know, it can work both ways, can't it? So hopefully you can still all hear and see me, because I'm not actually looking again now, so I do beg your pardon with that. Whilst I'm cutting this out, just to say, I've decided that with one thing and another, I will not actually be doing a video or any live at all this Sunday or next Wednesday. We are hoping to take my dad away for a few days, and just can't fit everything in. And so I thought I need a little bit of a break. I think it's probably the first time I've not done one for a long time. But the good thing is there's about 464 if you wanted to look for the other ones that were there before. So feel free. So I've cut out my poinsettia. I'm just going to take the outer petals and just pull them up very, very slightly. And then I'm going to put my frame on. And as I said, at this stage, when I'm putting the frame on, you could just keep the frame on and there you've got your card fairly quickly. Could even be a batch card, in all honesty, because you have got some, it's a lovely, very Christmassy card. So let's just pop that over. And again, all of the frames have been made to actually fit inside the card. It's no good saying, here's a die and it's a 7x5, and you find that it's actually is a 7x5. So it doesn't fit in a 7x5 card, if you see what I mean. So we could say that that was it, but we could take our other poinsettia. Just going to twist it round slightly. Don't want to put it absolutely on top, because actually that doesn't do much good. So I'm just going to slightly twist it so it looks as if we've got even more going on. I've got to put a bit of foam. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do, I know, but I've got to put a bit of foam on it. Can't not. So I'm just going to put 2 little bits of foam onto the back and stick that down. And then I've just done a really simple little sentiment, which I've taken from the musical Dear stamp that we had when all this started. Let's pop that there. Quite happy for it to go slightly over the edges. Just think that looks quite nice. And I've just got a sentiment, which is just going to go just down there. Okay, so should it go tucked into there? I'm not quite sure. Or even on the top? No. Okay, where do we think it should go? Should it go there, or should it go down the bottom? What do you think? On the side or the bottom? First option, on the side. Bit up, on the side. Okay, I'm going for the side then. I think I'm going to sort of like play it down as opposed to put foam on it. I'm just going to not go a bit mad. Okay, I'll just put there. I saw that the lovely Shirley said, don't forget thumbs up. Do you know what? If anyone puts a thumbs up today because you've had to play hide and seek for where I am, thank you, because that would be really, really good. Really good. Now, what I can see, which I don't like, so I'm going to have to do something about it, is I've got a smudge of red on there. I don't like that. But nevertheless, I can't keep you forevermore. And I very much appreciate that you've joined me and managed to find me. But hopefully you can see, especially if I try and get a bit of shadow on it, that it's a really lovely embossing folder. Can you see? I can't even find the camera. Sorry, it's really not good pictures, but hopefully you can see that it's beautifully embossed, really deep 3D. I didn't spread. Sometimes when you're doing a 3D embossing folder, if your actual machine is not very high pressure, mine are, you sometimes can do with spraying the card that you put in on the back with water to allow the fibers to really soak into it. And mold itself into the molding of the 3D embossing folder. But I really didn't think that I needed to do that today because I do have a really good machine and it doesn't seem to work, but it might work for a bit of a tip anyway. So I like doing the odd embossing folder like that. Just two simple colours. Again, you know, a lot of the embossing folders that you see take lots of different colours, and I'm all for the easy life. There are, as I said, 3 others. I will just bring in this one. Now, this wasn't exactly the card that we did at the weekend, but this is the snowflake. Can you see that just about? Shimmering snowflakes. So we had the gold frame here, but everybody chose different colours, and it was their choice as to whether they chose sort of, well, it was Christmassy colours, but that type of thing. So I had the satin gold here. I had the shimmering snowflake embossing folder with the companion colouring stencils, but I actually only used one because, again, if you were sitting here with me, you wouldn't fit, but if you were, the snowflakes seemed to suddenly just need to be left white. This colour here, everyone said how well it went, and it really did, was actually scattered straw. Because they don't do a gold as such. And I found that when I was using gold polish and things like that, that it tended to weep a bit. So I didn't really want to do that. So that one was very, very simple. And then it's not how the card that everybody did, I have to say. Have I got that there? Yeah. This is the, whoops. This is the card that everybody did, or similar. Try and take the shine off of it. But again, you can see the beautiful embossing folder at the background there. But I just wanted to do a little bit different, and I 3D'd my trees, which are, these are the snowflake trio, or snowy trio, I think it's called. Anyway, that's the shimmering snowflakes one. This one is the Poinsettia Bliss. Then there's the snow woodland or something. Oh, I'm not very good at that, am I? Can't remember, sorry. And then Nature's Christmas, which again, little poinsettias and bits and pieces. Really, really pretty. So thank you. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for hunting me down. I'll be able to put the proper post up, so we will do that as well. And as I said, I will now not see you until Sunday the 17th of September, because I won't be around this Sunday on the 10th, nor Wednesday, and I will be back. I've got a workshop which our ladies are going to be using these on the 16th, and I will see you on the 17th of September. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm really looking forward to having some time with the family and some time off, so it should be good. I hope it's not quite as hot as it is today, but I would rather it didn't rain either. I'm still around though for a few days, so don't worry, post and that is still going out, and any pre-orders will be sent out as soon as I get back as well. So thank you very much, everyone. Oh, don't forget, thumbs up down here somewhere, down here somewhere, please say thumbs up, because, oh, you are saying thumbs up. Thank you. And thank you for sticking with me. Take care, everyone. See you on the 17th. Bye.